Oh, hey there! What's this? This is my little buddy, the Dremel 8260. And together we're going to explore 10 of Amazon's most popular Dremel attachments. Come on. And here we are. These are the top 10 Dremel attachments according to Amazon at the moment of my purchase. So yeah. What I did, I went to Amazon, sorted it by best selling, and picked out the top 10 Dremel attachments I found. We'll go through each and every one of them, starting from the cheapest and working our ways up to the most expensive one. Prices do change, so the order might be a bit off, but you get the idea. And then I'll rank them so you see which ones, in my opinion, give you the best bang for your buck. So yeah, without further ado, let's start with this little thing. This is the Dremel 4486 keyless chuck. It might be the cheapest one, but in my opinion, it's one of the most useful ones, as it allows you to easily use and switch tools in different diameters. Basically, just like a drill chuck, but in the range of 0.8 to 3.2 millimeters. So take that in consideration. And now, let's see it in action. So yeah, before doing anything with your Dremel, the first thing to do is either to take out the battery or plug it out, just to be safe. So yeah, let's remove this. The chuck looks like this. As you can see, it's basically like a drill chuck, simply smaller. And you attach it the same way as this small chuck. Simply take it and, while pressing the button to lock the movement, screw it on. Now it's pretty tight. As you can see, when I twist it, it starts opening up like this. And now you can simply use a variety of different tool diameters. And what you're going to do, simply twist it open until the tool fits and tighten it up. Now with the battery, and now switch out to a different one. Simply repeat the same, open it up, then as this is a smaller one, tighten it up a bit so it doesn't fall in somewhere, and then simply insert the tool, and yeah, there you go. And now with this one. I'd say it's pretty easy to use it, and yeah, considering it's the cheapest one out of them all, I'd say it's pretty essential to have one, but I guess it depends on what you're doing. If you don't use different size tools, then maybe not, but for me, simply to have the option to use different size drills, tools, anything, yeah, I think it's pretty nice. And now, let's jump to the Dremel 678, which is the adjustable circular and parallel cutter. As the name suggests, it allows you to both cut parallel and circular shapes with precision. So yeah, let's test it. For the milling accessories, I'll be using these, which I also picked up on Amazon. This is a pack of 40 end mills. They were pretty cheap, so yeah, let's see how it goes. And now, switch it out. Simply unscrew the screw, like this. And then you can either put this in the other direction for circular cutting, or switch out to this thing for parallel cutting. As I understand, it's meant to be used in both directions, as, yeah, like this for maximum distance, and like this for closer cutting. I'll put it like this. As you can see, both sides have rulers on them with different distances. That's because this side shows distance for parallel cutting, and this one shows the diameter you'll get for circular cutting. And on the upper part, you have the same measurements in inches. So yeah. And now to attach the tool, simply unscrew this thing, take it off, and screw the guide in place. Like this. So yeah, pretty easy. And to adjust the depth, you have a screw here, and here you have the reading of the depth. So yeah, let's adjust it like this. As you can see, today I won't be doing any hardcore cutting, but yeah, let's just test it. Now, let's give it a go. And as always, safety first. As you can hopefully see, this is the standard sheet of OSB. It's pretty hard to distinguish it from my table, but yeah, here it is. And yeah, let's test it. Let's put the speed 25. say, yeah, let's try it. I'm not sure if the end mill is bad, but yeah, that didn't go quite well. I'll switch it out and test again. I switched out these end mills, which are from Stepcraft. These are the ones I use on my CNC, so I know they're good. But yeah, I don't know. This one didn't quite perform, but I'll need to check the guides for it. And now, let's go at it again. Let's adjust the depth of it, so it's not too deep. Something like that. So yeah, the cutting was like night and day. So yeah, I can't really suggest grabbing these. Maybe I'm using them wrong, but yeah, I switched out to my usual end mill and it was way faster and pretty much no issues. But there's an issue I'm having with this guide. As you can see, it has sort of a U shape here. So it's a railing, but the issue with that is when you're cutting in parallel, you usually start from the side, right? And when it goes like this, when you start it, it wobbles like this because there's no supports in the middle. And when you get past the end mill, it gets stuck on the other edge, so it doesn't move forward. And yeah, that's, I'd say, unpleasant. Not to mention it also affects the depth of the cut. But yeah, and when you get past it, the issue is that the other edge keeps on sticking if you have any sort of uneven surface, and you can feel it really well on OSB, because OSB is obviously pretty uneven. But yeah, you can feel it simply sticking like that. So yeah, that's something I don't really like, but let's try the circular cutting, which is, in my opinion, the best function of this. Now let's do the same. Let's unscrew this thing and attach the circular cutter. So like this. To get a specific diameter, simply align this sharp tip to the measurement you want. So yeah, let's test it out. So for this, the first thing you need to do is drill a hole in the same size as the sharp tip. So you can go inside, something like this, and so you can go in a circular motion. As you can see, I'm not doing a full circle. This will be a partial circle, so I can start from the edge. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So yeah, it's actually a pretty similar story to the parallel cutting. It was better, and I like this function as it allows you to cut even circles and material. But yeah, the issue I'm having is, maybe it's an issue for OSB as it's not so even, but yeah, the issue I'm having is still with this shape. As whenever there's something to get stuck to, like, I hope you can see here, it got stuck here. But yeah, it simply stops in its way, and you either need to push through or lift it or what, because the railing simply keeps on getting stuck. But yeah, let me know if I'm doing something wrong or what. I've used parallel cutters for my Milwaukee tools for quite a while now. No issues with that. They don't have any railings like this one. So yeah, maybe I'm just doing something wrong or this design flaw. But yeah, we have a lot of other things to look at, so let's just move on. Next up, we have this small thing, which is the 550 comfort guard. And it's just that, a guard. Let's see how it works. It should attach pretty much the same way as the last one. Simply unscrew this thing and this should screw in its place, just like that. And yeah, it's pretty much just a guard to help you not get sparks, debris, or other stuff in your face. Yeah, let's test how it works. And for this, I'll be switching out the bit to a wire brush like this one, which is one of the best uses for a guard like this, to not get a part of a brush in your face, which is not pleasant. So yeah, put a battery in, adjust this to be in our direction, and let's test it. Let's say we have a piece like this, we need to brush it off for some reason. And yeah, just about like that. I won't go too much in depth with this one, because yeah, it's pretty much just that. It's a guard, it's pretty useful. It's not too big, so yeah, I'd say it shouldn't mess around with your work too much. Some extra safety is always nice. So yeah, it's pretty okay, I would say. So let's move on to the next one. And next up, we have another small one. This is a 565 cutting guide. And it's pretty much just that, a cutting guide. So let's take a look. Overall, it offers pretty similar features to this cutting guide, but the difference is that this one has no parallels or anything. This is meant for simple, sturdy cutting like this. So yeah, let's put it on. So again, let's unscrew this thing. The first thing with this is to insert the bit, just easier before. Now, simply screw this in place. Pretty much all Dremel attachments work almost the same way. So yeah, as you can see, it looks like this. Here you can adjust the depth. Here you have the measurements. So let's put it like this. A pretty shallow cut, but yeah, I'd say this is more meant for drywall and such applications. So if you have something on a wall, you need to cut a shape in, you can simply put it to the wall and cut it like this. Yeah, now let's test it on some OSB. So yeah, let's give it a go. So yeah, I'd personally say this went pretty well. It was pretty easy to use. It didn't have the issues that this thing had. It didn't wobble around while starting from the edge. It was pretty even, sturdy from the start. So yeah, it's pretty good. It does have quite a large opening. So it's both a plus and a minus, I'd say, as it's pretty easy to see what you're doing. But on the other hand, if your hand is somewhere here and it's cutting and the bit breaks or something like that, you can get something in your hand. So I'd personally like a removable plastic transparent piece there or something like that. But yeah, as it's meant mostly for drywall and soft things like that, I'd say that's no issue for that. I'm testing it on wood, so yeah, there's a difference. But overall, yeah, a pretty nice attachment. Yeah, let's jump to the next one. And next up, we have this thing, which is the Dremel 576 modeling table. Let's see how it works. So yeah, let's start by attaching it and then explore what it's for. I won't go through the attaching as it's pretty much the same. I simply unscrewed this thing. I'll add some sandpaper for this one and attach it the same just by screwing it back on. This one also has an adjustable depth like this, the same as the other ones. Simply screw this and then you have the measurement of the depth. Let's put it like this, and yeah, let's give it a go. The idea with this one is it's basically a sanding or grinding table, as it allows you for a even 40-degree or 90-degree sanding or grinding. So yeah, let's try it. So a while back I made these 3D printed knives. I intend to test them at some point, but yeah, now let's test how it grinds. So it pretty much works like this. Simply apply it to the edge, to the guide. To get an even edge. So yeah, a different application for it is, for instance, you have a curved edge like this one and you want to sand it. So you can put it like this to the edge, and this allows you to sand the edge in an even 90 degrees. Not to lose the 90-degree angle of the edge. So yeah, I'd say this is a pretty useful attachment. Yeah, I see myself using it a lot, but we'll see how it goes. I would like some more angle varieties for it, not just 40 and 90, but other than that, I think it's pretty okay. Yeah, now let's take a look at this thing, which is actually next, and it's the Dremel 577 soft grip, which is just that, a grip. So it's basically a handle. It's pretty small, as you can see. It's about, let's say, half of my palm, but yeah, let's see how it works. So the first thing to do is usual, is to remove the last one we used. And now let's attach this thing. It goes something like this, and I guess you need to screw it with this thing. It does move a bit, which I'm not sure how much I like. I did tighten it up, but yeah, it still moves around, but okay. But yeah, let's see how this one goes. So yeah, it should work something like this. You can either use your Dremel two-handed, or I guess it's meant to be hold something like this, or maybe like this for extra support so the tool doesn't slip. But yeah, I'd say the surface of it already is pretty okay, but in case you're doing some heavy duty work, I guess it's pretty useful if you're grinding away a lot of material to have that extra support from the other hand, to be able to grab it like this and hog it out. Could be pretty nice. But yeah, other than that, as you saw, we had quite a lot of attachments before this, and we're going from the cheapest to the most expensive one. So yeah, I don't think it's really worth more than the other ones, but we'll see what's up next. And yeah, now let's take a look at this thing, which is a Dremel 575 angle attachment. Come on, let's take a look. So yeah, to start, as usual, let's remove the last attachment, and for this one, also remove the collet, as it has its own small collet like this one in the box. Attach it back to the Dremel. So now, let's attach it. After that, let's try and screw this on. So yeah, it works. And now to remove this black thing, the first thing, obviously, remove the batteries so nothing goes wrong. And then take a random tool, like this one, and put the shank inside this hole like this, so it's fixed. And then this thing should come off like this. And yeah, here it is. And as you can see, the end of it has the same system as the tool itself. So you can take something like this. This is our drill chuck, and screw it on the same way as before. So yeah, now it's tight. Let's loosen it up and insert the tool. And yeah, now we have drill in there. Let's remove this tool, insert the battery, and apply safety. See how it goes. It's pretty damn loud, but yeah. So yeah, the verdict, it works. It's pretty okay. The angle adapter is pretty useful. I have one for my Milwaukee Impact also, as it's pretty useful both to drill at an angle, and maybe you need to, I don't know, grind something or whatever. You can simply remove it, and then it allows you to grind parallel to the surface. But yeah, other than that, I do have to say it's pretty damn loud. I don't know if I have a louder tool in my workshop at all, so I will advise using some ear protection. And just to test how loud it actually is, let's measure it. So yeah, first let's test it without the adapter. I'll put it somewhere here. It's somewhere close to 66 decibels, which is pretty okay. But now, let's put this thing on. And it's 86 decibels. 20 decibels louder with the same speed and everything, just the attachment. That's pretty insane. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty useful attachment. Just wear ear protection. If you're ordering this, order them together. So yeah. And up next, we have this thing, which is a Dremel 335 plunge router. Looks like this. I do have to say, out of these all, this is one that I'm probably maybe the most interested in. So yeah, let's check it out. The main reason this is so interesting to me is its price. It's actually, I'd say, pretty reasonable. I do have a router like this. It also has a plunge base. It's a Milwaukee M18 fuel. But yeah, they're pretty damn expensive. As you can see in this video, I mostly don't tell the prices as they change a lot, and yeah, I'll add the links so you can check them out yourselves at the moment you're watching. But yeah, this thing is around 30 bucks. 30 bucks for a plunge roller is pretty awesome. If you don't need it a lot, if this thing can substitute it, I think it's pretty awesome. So let's see. The first thing is always remove the battery, remove the last attachment. In this case, remove also this, let's call it adapter for the attachment. And let's put the collet back in. And while we're at it, let's also put a milling bit back in. So yeah, now let's take a look at this thing. It attaches very similarly to the other attachments. Simply put it in like this, but in this case, align it so you have the buttons here and screw it on with this thing. It does have also a key, tighten it up a bit stronger. So yeah, do that. So now, let's test it. So as you can see, it doesn't move. To unlock the movement, you need to twist this thing. This shows unlocked, this locked. So when it's twisted, it should start moving up and down. And to adjust the depth, move to the edge or whatever. Adjust it to how deep you want to cut by twisting this thing. This moves the depth stop. So when you move it down, the cut will be more shallow. If you move it up, it will be deeper. I would advise you to get also something like this. This was pretty cheap, and what it does, it allows you to measure how far out the tool is. And not only that, but also you can measure pieces like this one, how far up it is. Let's see how this goes. Let's put in the battery. Let's release it so it goes back up. Yeah, the whole idea with the plunge drawer is to enable it to plunge wherever you want. So let's switch it on. I do have to say, pretty awesome. Yeah, it worked, I'd say better than expected. It's pretty smooth, easy to navigate. For the price, it's pretty nice. It does also have these parallel cutters. Let's see how easy they attach, but yeah, they're probably pretty standard. But yeah, let's check them out. The first thing to do is, again, remove the battery, just so nothing goes wrong. But yeah, I do have to say, this part is seeming not to be so great, as you pretty much need to assemble it. I'm used to the plug and play type of tools. With this thing, you need to put the rods in, then to fix the rods to the base, you need to slide these things in, then screw this in so the rod doesn't move. And now for the other side, maybe I'm just spoiled from all the other plug and play tools, but yeah, this one's a bit more complicated, so I'll show you how it goes. So yeah, push it in like that, so the holes align. Now screw this in. Now both the rods are tight. So yeah, now let's say I want to use this thing. Let's put the rods in. So yeah, it was a snug fit, but the rods are in. And for this part also, you have these slots and you need to insert these parts inside. So yeah, like that. And then you can set in the screw from the other side and screw it in. And repeat the same on the other side. Put this into place, then screw. And yeah, now it seems to be set. Let's test it out. Let's put the battery back in. Now, let's test it. So yeah, overall, I'd say I like this thing. It's pretty nice for the price. And yeah, I would like to be a bit more plug and play, as there's just simply more things to mess up. I won't say it's complicated, but yeah, to figure out, you need to put those parts in and this thing and yeah, so on. It's simply more parts to lose later on. But yeah, other than that, I think it's pretty nice. Plunge drawers are pretty damn expensive, and yeah, if you don't have one, this is a pretty good substitute if you need it occasionally for not too complicated tasks. I think I'll actually use this for my own. As I mentioned, I do have a plunge drawer for my Milwaukee tool. It's a bit of a more heavy duty one. If I didn't have it, I would say this would be, yeah, one of my favorite attachments. But yeah, I think that's about it for this one, and let's move on. Up next, we have the Dremel 670, which is the circular saw attachment. And yeah, let's take a look. And I would say this at least sounds quite interesting, as it should transform your Dremel into a mini circular saw. So yeah, let's see. It comes like this, without the saw blade, but it should be somewhere in the box. I guess it's here. So yeah, this is the saw blade for this circular saw. As you can see, here are the instructions and some warnings, as any type of circular saw is pretty dangerous, even a small one like this. So be cautious. Always wear protection, not only in bed. So yeah, I guess this is the screw that holds the blade, so let's put that in. I think it goes like this, from the bottom to the top. Here we go. And now the screw Should go something like that. For this I'll need also a flathead screwdriver to fasten it. I guess I need to attach to the tool first. So again, remove the battery. So yeah, let's remove this plunger like this. In this case we need to also remove the collet again. I'm pretty sure it has the same square type collet as this thing. So let's attach that. The reason is because without it, when trying to screw this thing, it simply goes in circles. So I guess I need to screw it on, so then I can fix it with the button, and yeah, then I can finally fasten it. So yeah, it's basically the same as a normal circular saw, with the main difference is for a circular saw, the guard goes like this, but in this case, it doesn't move backwards, but actually upwards. It goes inside like this. So yeah, that's interesting. And now let's pray for the best and try this out. It seems it doesn't have any depth adjustment, so yeah, I don't know if I like that, but okay. Let's find the battery, here it is, and let's try and switch it on. So yeah, by far not as loud as this thing, but yeah, this one goes like that. And I think let's just test it. Let's put it to the side. Now I do have to admit, let's just take out the battery before putting it to my face. But yeah, this cuts actually surprisingly well. It went very smooth, but yeah, you have to take in consideration that the blade is very small. The possible depth is very small, as you can see. But yeah, if you don't have anything, or you need to have a super small saw to put in your, I don't know, Dremel case to take with you in case you need it, then yeah, it's pretty useful. But it's pretty damn expensive. As you saw, it's more expensive than the plunger attachment. So yeah, is it worth it? Hard to say. I would say mostly no, just because it's so expensive. If it was cheaper, like some of the other attachments, I'd say it's pretty okay, just to toss in the Dremel case to take with you, with your Dremel. Otherwise, for the same price, you can pretty much pick up a cheap saw. But yeah, cutting wise, it felt actually pretty good. The angle could be a bit better. As you can see, you're cutting, your hand gets quite close to the surface. But other than that, a pretty smooth cut, and yeah, nothing really to complain. Pretty quiet, quieter than a circular saw. So yeah, let's jump to the next one. Up next, we have the Dremel flex shaft, which has the code 225. So yeah, it looks like this, like a flex shaft. If you've ever used a Dremel or any other rotary tool, these are, I believe, the most popular attachments out there for not only Dremel but other brands. So yeah, let's take a look at this one. So firstly, as always, let's remove the last attachment. This one also has its specific collet, but I'm pretty sure it's the same as the last one, so I'll simply leave it as that. So yeah, just attach it like that, screw it on. Yeah, now let's check if it works. Where is my battery? There are so many attachments, it's becoming to be a mess. But a mess with tools, it's not a bad mess to have. So yeah, found it. And now, let's see if it works. It does. Pretty nice. So yeah, let's just attach the same collet to the end of it. It should lock up like this. It has its own lock button on here, on the handle. So, what's it for? So, the Dremel by itself is pretty bulky. When you need to work either longer or on tighter places or whatever, you can actually use a Dremel hook like this one. If you have a different model, it probably has a different type of hook, but I'm pretty sure they all have some sort of hook. You hang the Dremel up, and then you can use it like this. It's way easier, way lighter. So yeah, let's test it out. Let's switch it on. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it simply makes the overall experience of using a Dremel tool or overall rotary tool just way more easier, smoother, and yeah, I think it's just a very useful thing, and there's a reason why it's, I think, pretty much always the best-selling one out there. So yeah, that's just about it, and let's take a look at our last one. And here we have the Dremel 2500, which is the Multi-Vise. And yeah, it's pretty much a vise, but not only that, let's take a look. So yeah, let's open it up. that's it. Yeah. Give them some parts. And yeah, this is the fixture that should attach to the table like this. It's pretty basic. Simply screw and unscrew like that. And yeah, it's actually pretty cool. You can remove this part like this and slide it in like this. Yeah, just fix it in place with screw. Then put the other part back on. And now you have a vise. If you ever worked in any type of workshop, pretty sure you know how to use a vise. Fix things in something like this. But yeah, this is actually pretty cool as it allows you also to rotate your part any way you like, which is actually pretty cool. I actually wanted a vise for quite some time, and this is actually a pretty good option for it, as it's not so stationary. And now you might be asking, is a vise an attachment for a Dremel? Well, in a way, as it's actually not only a vise, it's also a holder for the Dremel. When you attach this thing, I'm pretty sure this is the part we need. Let's add it in. Let's take our Dremel, remove our flex shaft. Whoa, what the f is that? And this is what we have. I don't know if I like that, but yeah, we have some sort of grease all over our collet. I guess it needs it, but yeah. So yeah, and now let's put the collet back in. Let's add the same sander as before. And the idea is to put it like this. Use this plastic part, screw it on. And now you have a mobile stand for your Dremel. So in case you have a larger part, or maybe on the other hand, maybe a complex part, if you prefer to move the part, not the Dremel, you can put the battery in like this, switch it on, and now you have a stationary sander. It's actually pretty cool. And you can do the same pretty much with a grinder, an end mill even, and yeah, anything your heart desires. And now let's rank them. In this ranking, I'll take in consideration the versatility they bring compared to the price. Now I do have to admit, most of these are pretty equal, I would say, depending on the task at hand, as they are more or less designed for a... That was clumsy. But yeah, they are designed for a specific purpose. So with that said, out of these 10 we've looked at, I'll highlight the 3 worst and the 3 best deals in my opinion. And to make this a bit more interesting or complicated, I'll start with the 3rd worst, or in other words, the 7th place, then go to the 3rd best, then to the 8th, then 2nd, then 10th, and then the 1st. So yeah, hopefully you got it. And yeah, let's jump into the ranking. So to start, the 3rd worst deal goes to the Dremel 577 soft grip, which is not bad by any means if you need it, but considering the price, as it's just a handle, just a grip, yeah, I don't think it's really worth it. It was more expensive than quite a lot of the other attachments, which bring a lot more versatility and yeah, functions to it. This is just a plastic handle. I don't see myself using it a lot. Maybe when there are harder tasks to take the second hand on the tool, but yeah, other than that, I don't know. It's just too expensive for what it is, a handle. And now, in the 3rd place, I have the Dremel 225 flex shaft, which is one of my favorite attachments. It just makes using the Dremel so much easier. You can use it longer in tighter spots, and yeah, overall it improves the Dremel experience, so to say. Maybe it will be 2nd or even 1st, if not for this. Made such a mess that I don't know. Now, yeah. But yeah, I like it. I think it's a pretty good deal. There's a reason why these are so popular. So yeah, that's a bronze medalist. And now, the 2nd worst deal, in my opinion, is this thing, which is the Dremel 670 mini saw attachment, which was actually pretty impressive. It's not bad, but considering the price, you can actually buy even some budget circular saws for the same price as this thing, I'm pretty sure. And considering that, I think it's simply a bad deal. Don't get me wrong, if you need it, you're okay with the price, it's pretty good to toss in the Dremel bag, simply to have with you in case you need it. I'd say it's pretty nice, but considering the price, it simply is not a good deal. But yeah, that's my thoughts. But on the other hand, for the 2nd best, I have this Dremel 335 plunge roller attachment, which I do like a lot. I think it's pretty awesome, especially if you don't have a plunge roller. This is an awesome budget option to upgrade your Dremel, as it simply makes it into small, compact plunge roller. And if you don't need it that often, I think it's pretty much enough. It did work pretty well. It of course won't be the most powerful thing or anything like that, but yeah, considering the price and how much other plunge rollers cost, I think having this as an alternative option, if you have the Dremel, I think it's pretty nice. And yeah, I think the second place is well granted for it. But now we need to talk about this thing, the Dremel 678 parallel and circular cutter, which by itself is a pretty good idea and I'd say pretty useful. But the thing I hate is the design of it. As you previously saw, when I tested it out, it just kept on getting stuck in the material and on the edge of it. So I don't see myself using it ever, I would say. Maybe if I need a circle, so in that case, it's pretty useful to get an even circle. But yeah, as a parallel, I won't probably use it ever, especially as this thing was way better as a parallel cutter. So yeah, that's why I put it in last place. But yeah, if you disagree, let me know. And yeah, the best deal, in my opinion, is the Dremel 4486, which is this thing, the Dremel Broker, which is actually my favorite attachment out of them all, considering the price, as it was the least expensive out of them all. And yeah, I simply like this way of switching out bits way better than the normal collet ones. Just simply to have the option to switch out different diameter tools, I think it's awesome. And yeah, considering it's the cheapest one out of them all, I would say the value is absolutely there. And if you're looking at attachments, I would probably say this is the first one to look at. But yeah, there are some better ones, I would say, in terms of performance, but performance in relative to the price, I would say this one is simply awesome, as it's 2 to 3 times cheaper than some of the other ones. So yeah, that's just my opinion. So yeah, let me know if you disagree. That's just my opinion. I do have to emphasize that none of these attachments were particularly bad. They're all pretty decent, maybe an exception to this thing, which I really dislike. I simply think the design is pretty bad, but maybe I'm using it wrong, so in that case, let me know. I've used parallel cutters for quite a while now, and I've never had issues like with this thing. But yeah, let me know. There are about 7 or 8 more attachments we didn't cover in this video, so if you want me to make a video looking at them, leave a like, and if this video reaches 100 likes, I'll buy them and make a follow-up video. So yeah, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss it. I will also be adding direct links to Amazon in the description for not only US, but also Europe and UK for each one of these attachments, in case you want to grab one of them. So, in case you're interested, go check it out. As an Amazon associate, I'll earn a small commission if you use my links, which in no way affects the price you get. It's more of a small thank you from Amazon for referring you, and it helps to support my channel so I can continue making videos like these ones. If you're still watching, you're awesome. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye.